Hi students, this is the second part of your assignment for today. I want us to practice some word problems. Now, I know word problems sometimes make kids a little nervous, but I don't want you guys to worry. If you remember, before I went on maternity leave, I showed you how to handle these types of problems, and if you follow this procedure, what I'm about to show you, it's going to make your life so much easier. So I've given us some word problems today. I am going to do the first one with you. And I want us to remember that since it tells us we're working with speed word problems, then the equation that we're going to be using is that S equals D divided by T, where the D stands for distance and the T stands for time. Okay, so if we read our first problem here, it says that Carl runs 400 meters in 50 seconds. What is Carl's speed? So the first thing that I want you to do, and yes, you're going to have to copy these problems down. First thing I want you to do is circle the numbers that you see. So I see the number 400, so I'm going to circle it, and I see the number 50. I'm going to circle it. So we circle our numbers first. The next thing that we do is we look at the word that comes directly after the numbers. That word is going to tell us what that number is referring to. For example, the number 400 has the word meters after it. Now, if you remember, distance is measured in meters. So because the word meters comes after the 400, I know that 400 is a distance, and I'm going to mark it with a D. Now, the number 50 has the word seconds after it. And if you remember from the first video, time is measured in seconds. So I know that 50 is a time. I'm going to mark it with a little T. All right, so now the next thing I do, I have circled the numbers. I have identified what those numbers are by looking at the word that comes right after the number. And now I'm going to underline what I'm supposed to be solving for. I need to solve for speed. When I underline that, I'm going to write the equation S equals D divided by T. Speed equals distance divided by time, and that was from the first video. This should be review. Once I have written the equation, I'm now going to drop down one line, and this time, instead of writing D and T, I'm going to write the numbers in the place of those letters. So the D is on top, and that was the one I marked with 400. So I know the distance is 400. Divided by, T should be on the bottom, and I see that I've marked the 50 with the T, or the time. Now, if you have a calculator at home, I am fine if you want to use a calculator here. But now I need to do in the calculator 400 divided by 50. If you calculate 400 divided by 50, you're going to get the answer of 8. And don't forget that speed is measured in meters per second. So my final answer is right there. Carl's speed is 8 meters per second. All right, so that's the first problem. I've worked that one out with you guys. The second one I'm not going to work out with you. I'm going to leave my phone right here so you can kind of see that. It says Sally throws a softball 10 meters. It takes the ball only 0.5 seconds to travel that distance. What is the speed of the ball? Now you guys are going to work that one out by yourself. The last thing that you're going to do, number 3, is actually not a word problem. I want you to graph your lab results, and you're going to be making a line graph. So I've set up here your x-axis is on the bottom and your y-axis runs up and down. You are going to have to give this a title. All graphs need a title. You might want to title it My Speed or My Speed Lab or something like that. Okay. Your distance is going to go on your y-axis, and that, remember, should be in meters or maybe centimeters if you were using a tape measure and you didn't convert to meters, which is fine. But your distance will go on your y, and the time that it took you will go on the x-axis, and don't forget that time is measured in seconds. That's why I put the M for meters and S for seconds. And then you're going to plot a point. I'm totally making this up, so make sure that this is, that you put your own result. But let's say if you went 5 meters, and maybe the time that it took you, 1, 2, 3, maybe it took you 5 seconds to go 5 meters. That's kind of a long time. But anyway, you would go to 5 seconds, and you would go all the way up to the 5 meters. You would put a point, and you would connect with a line, and this line represents your speed. And the steeper that this line is, if you had a line that looked like this, okay, this represents a very fast speed. If you had a line that looked more like this is a slower speed. Okay, so depending upon the steepness of your line, that gives us an idea of your speed. All right, so I want you guys to do these problems and then keep them for when we go back to school. And if you have any questions, let me know. Send me a message on LiveGrades.